Hi guys, so today I'm going to share my experience with the new Trading 212 bank card. So this thing. It hasn't been around that long and I got to try it out recently when I went to Cyprus. And honestly, I was really happy with how easy everything was. So I just wanted to take you through how it works, what I thought the issues with it were, as well as obviously any advantages and things like that. So essentially, if you are thinking about getting the card, then this video is for you because hopefully it will help you make up your mind. So what actually is the Trading 212 card? As you can see, it's a debit MasterCard. It's got the little MasterCard sign here that is linked to your Trading 212 investment account. Now, what that means is that you can spend the cash that you haven't invested yet, just like you would with a normal bank card. But you do actually need to move the money into a separate spending pot, which I thought was a bit of a pain because there were a few times on holiday when my card got declined because I hadn't moved the money into the spending pot. But to be fair, it is actually a plus when you think about it, because in case you lose your card, you don't have to worry about someone going on a big spending spree. They can just essentially spend what's on your spending pot. So I think for those sorts of things, it is a big plus, but also if you are someone who tends to overspend, you can use it for budgeting. So yeah, like I mentioned, I used it for my Cyprus holidays. So I wanted to use a card where I didn't have the exchange fees and stuff like that. So like I said, it was super easy. All I had to do was fill in an application for the card, obviously because I didn't have it before. I then transferred my budgeted holiday money to Trading 212, which I kind of went over budget, so I had to transfer more, but let's not go into that. And then I converted to euros so that I could spend in euros in Cyprus. And I just used it like a normal card. So every time I paid for something, whether it was taxis or food or anything else, the card worked just fine. No issues, no weird fees showing up on my card, which I've had before when I've used like the major banks. And the cashback started showing in my account the next day after I started using it. So that was a big plus, because that's one of the things we need to talk about is the cashback, because it is nice to get a little bit back on every purchase, right? So how does it actually work? In simple terms, okay, let's not get too complicated. So the first thing you need is a Trading 212 Invest account. Once you have that, then you can request to get a bank card, and then you will have the spending pot that I mentioned, which you can transfer money to after topping up your Invest account. You can order a virtual card for free. So before I got the plastic one, I had a virtual one on my Apple Pay. So you can start sort of online shopping and using it for Apple Pay pretty much straight away. But if you do want the physical card, then depending on which country you are in, you do have to pay a small fee to get it. Now, the card is contactless and works, like I mentioned, with Apple Pay and Google Pay, and basically just like a normal MasterCard. So I haven't had any problems with it so far. Now, there is an option which I have turned on that your cashback actually gets invested into a pie of your choice. So I think that's pretty cool, because you basically are spending money as you would normally, and then you have the roundup feature that a lot of banks have now, you know, but instead of like putting it in a spending pot that you then decide what to do with, your roundups are auto invested into a pie. And that was it. Every time I paid in Cyprus, it was taking money in euros out of my account. So easy as that. So let's have a look at what I liked and what I didn't like. So I'm going to start off with the positives first. So the first thing that I liked, there is a 1% cashback, and there was whilst I was in Cyprus. Disclaimer, true at filming date. So obviously, depending on when you're watching this, it might be more, it might be less. Make sure you check. But at the time of filming and at the time that I was in Cyprus, it was 1%. I think there was a bonus 1.5 whilst I was there. But generally, I think that's finished and it's currently 1%. So that was awesome because I was going to spend that money anyway and I got some money back. So considering I used to use cashback credit cards a lot whilst I was living doing in England, and I haven't really been able to find anything as good in Poland. I think I'm going to start thinking about using my Trading 212 card as one of my main spending cards in Poland, because if I can get that cashback as well, it's a little bit of extra money. So cashback. Now, the second thing that I've also mentioned that I liked is that you can auto invest the cashback into an investment pie. So I think that's pretty cool. Number 3, which I think is really important, and this is part of the reason that I decided to try out this card whilst on holiday, is that the exchange rate I received was literally pretty much the spot rate. So I checked against the Google spot rate at the time that I was converting, and it was pretty spot on. So that was awesome, because it's quite rare to get the actual spot rate when you're currency converting. Number 4 is that there are no FX fees on the transaction. So this is what I mentioned previously as well. You do have a small 0.15% fee for converting into the currency of your choice. So you're not paying a fee per transaction that you make. You pay it once when you convert into that currency. So obviously they do have to make money somehow. But actually, if you have a look, it is actually a really competitive rate in the market. So better than Revolut and Wise, which is pretty cool. And actually, something I didn't know at the time is that you don't actually have to convert the money before you use it in a different country. So I was converting each time from GBP to euros, but actually when I used it in Poland, after I came back, I realized that you don't have to do that at all. And you can just tap it and use it directly from your spending pot, and you will still get the spot rate. So you will get the best rate at the time. So it's absolutely fab. And I think the only reason really for converting would be to buy stocks in a different currency. Or the one thing I was thinking was, if, for example, you happen to come across a day when the exchange rate is really in your favor and you just want to lock in that price for a bigger amount, then it's worth paying sort of that conversion fee and just locking in that currency amount. So yeah, but it's amazing that you don't even have to convert. You just tap your card from your GBP spending pot and you still get no fees, and you don't get charged the conversion fee. So yeah. And the final thing to mention on the what I liked part is that you can only spend what is in the spending pot. I know I mentioned that as a massive pain because you have to transfer, but I do like it. I like that I have that option to not worry about losing my card whilst I'm on holiday. You know, tourist places tend to have a lot of like theft and stuff. So whilst I found it irritating, I also see it as a big plus. So yes. Okay, so as promised, the next thing, things I didn't like, or maybe things that you need to watch out for if you're thinking of getting the card. The first one is something that I also don't like about my Polish cashback card, is that there is a cashback limit. The cashback is capped, so if you do spend a lot, it can add up quickly, and I think it's a £15 limit, 15 to £20 definitely. So you do hit that limit quickly if you spend a lot, but having £15 a month or not having £15 a month, I would rather have the £15 a month. So just something to bear in mind, because my Polish card didn't tell me that and I found out after my first statement. So just be aware of that. Now, the second thing is that I personally like being able to track everything in my finances. I'm a bit OCD. And the one thing I noticed with this card was that I couldn't. So here's what I mean. I couldn't track which transaction a particular cashback was related to. So in theory, like you can see here, it shows a transaction ID, but like, why can't it just show me that it's related to transaction X for Y amount of money? You know, it would make my life so much easier. And I also couldn't go back and check the exchange rate after I had converted. So I was going through the statements with my friend, because we were sort of doing the whole like, you pay for some, I'll pay for the other, and then we'll figure it out at the end. And actually trying to convert it back into pounds later on was almost impossible because I couldn't just go back in the history and see that I converted X amount of pounds into Y amount of euros at this rate. So whilst I see that whilst I'm converting, which is why I could check it against the spot rate, so you get the whole screen that shows you you're converting this much at this rate, blah, blah, blah. I can't go back and check it in retrospect. So in theory, I could screenshot or something, but I don't want to do that. I want to be able to access everything. The third thing is that your card is linked to your Trading 212 account. It's not a full bank account. It's not linked to a full bank account. So you do have to top up before you spend. And the fourth thing is that there is an ATM limit before you start paying ATM fees. So free withdrawals are up to £400 per month. And after that, you do have to pay a 1% fee. I mean, it's not too bad because we are, heading towards a cashless society and all, but often when you're abroad, you need cash and stuff. So just something to bear in mind as well. So in summary, I think that the card is pretty perfect for you if you already have a Trading 212 Invest account and you're investing with Trading 212. You travel or you shop in different currencies online. You want to earn cashback and interest on your spare cash. And if you like having everything in one app, because like I said, I'm going to start using it for my main spending, and obviously I'm investing through Trading 212 as well. So having everything in one app is pretty cool. So again, overall, I'm really happy with the Trading 212 card, and I can honestly recommend it to people now that I have tried it out. Using it in Cyprus was super smooth. I had zero issues. I got cash back, I saved on fees, and everything was super easy to manage in the app because even the top-up process through Trading 212 is super easy because you just click top up and it sort of takes you through the true layer of your bank. So I don't need to separately log into my bank, transfer money. I just authenticate it through TrueLayer, which is awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for a simple way to earn a bit of money whilst you're traveling or something, or just on your day-to-day spending, and often it's credit cards that have like cashback incentives. And I know a lot of people who don't trust themselves with credit cards. This could be a really good alternative. So it's not a credit card, it's a card that you have to top up before you use it. So I think it's perfect. If you have Trading 212 and you want to give it a go, just click in your app that you want to apply for the card. If you don't have Trading 212 but you want to give it a go, then feel free to use my affiliate link down in the description below. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the card or the app or anything like that, and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.